All right, good morning, guys. Welcome to the second part of the video workshop. Okay, in today's video, we are going to be looking at a few things with regards to production. In other words, I want you to get ready to start shooting stuff. But we're going to be using our handphone, all right? And all of the tips and tricks that I'm going to show you today are going to be related to the handphone. Okay. In fact, right now I'm using my handphone with the Open Camera app to shoot myself using the selfie camera, and I can see what I'm doing. I can see my performance. I know exactly where to stand, what to do. Okay, I'm using a lapel mic which is connected to the handphone, and that allows me to move. Okay, audio quality is still good. I can deliver my lines anywhere I want so that you guys can experience the video properly. Okay. I'm also using existing lights in this room. Okay, I'm not turning on any special lighting. I'm actually standing in the room, which brings me to the first part of the video: lighting and framing. Okay, this is one of the hardest things that all beginners face when shooting a video. What is good light? How do I get good light? And how do I stand? Where do I stand? How do I shoot what I shoot? Okay, and that is the part of the video that I'm going to be shooting today to show you. Now, in the past, as you probably know from my YouTube channel, I've actually shot numerous videos along the similar vein for other people. Okay, I am going to recycle those video clips for you as well. Okay, those clips will talk about camera holding techniques, movement, all right, including the Open Camera app and how to get what you want to get. So I'll recycle those videos. I'll put them in this video. I'll join them up, and you will have a complete package to learn from. Okay? Later on in the evening or tomorrow, I will create another video with regards to the editing software. All right? I am experimenting with OpenShot, Kdenlive, and Shortcut. These three key programs, okay? And I'm trying to decipher which one has the simplest workflow for you, okay? Once I decide which one is simple enough, that's the software that I will recommend to you, okay? Now, don't panic, guys. These three software, they may be different manufacturers, they may be different brands, but they're all the same. They all work in the same way, they all look similar, okay? So the concept of video editing is learned. Don't learn the software, learn the concept. Okay? All right, so let's get on with the first part of this session, which is lighting. Okay? Most importantly. Now, any video production, okay, regardless of what you're doing, what topic you're shooting, you are going to shoot a video in only two areas. All right? We can classify these areas as interior and exterior shots. Interior shots are shots in buildings, all right, where the light is artificial. This is artificial lighting, all right? Fluorescent lights over there, fluorescent lights over there, artificial, okay? Exterior shots are outdoors. We use Mother Nature, we use the sun, okay? Now, here's a trick. What if I'm outdoors at night? How do we classify that? Is that an exterior shot or an interior shot? That, ladies and gentlemen, is an interior shot. I think of it as an interior shot, okay? Because outdoors at night, we don't have lights. We have artificial lights. We've got street lamps, we've got buildings, neon tubes, you know? Those lights are artificial. So when we create our video, we need to think about where we are at that moment in time, and we need to change our workflow. That's right, folks. Good video is good workflow, okay? The camera that I'm using is a Redmi Note 9, all right? Medium range camera, shooting in HD resolution. But because I have locked my camera to manual mode, all right, later on in the video, you will learn how to do that. The camera isn't jumping around, the brightness isn't changing, the sharpness isn't changing. It looks pretty decent, okay? And more importantly, the camera is now stuck onto a stand. It's not moving around, so it's not shaking, okay? And that's what I would recommend that you guys do as well, okay? Put your camera somewhere or ask your friend to hold it very stably and shoot your performance, okay? Focus on the performance of the video, not on the movement. All right, guys? Hang on, give me a moment. Sound check, sound check, sound check, 1, 2, okay. All right, sorry, for a moment there, I thought the audio had disappeared, but we are good, we are back, okay? All right, so this is interior lighting. This is artificial light, okay? Now, you will set your open camera settings to get the light that you want, but here's the thing. How do we know where to stand? Because in a room like this, there are some parts that are bright and some parts that are dark. Simple. Look at the floor. Look on the floor, guys. All right, let me turn this camera down a little bit so you can see the floor. Look at the floor. Now, in this scenario, because we are using fluorescent tubes, which is a long tube, the light is all over the place, okay? Which means that's great. I can stand anywhere I want and my face will be lit. That is the secret, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure your face is lit. I mean, after all, you are shooting a host, right? Let's move to a place where my face won't be lit. Let's move somewhere darker. Maybe over here in the corner here like this. See that? Straight away, this would not be an ideal situation, okay? The background may be what you want, but there is just not enough light in here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust my brightness. Okay, so I've adjusted the brightness to compensate, to make it everything brighter. But look, it's still not flattering at all. Okay, so tip number 1, stand in the light. Okay, if you are the host and you are shooting content and you want to be in this room, find a place that has light hitting yourself. All right, don't look at the room and say, I like that scene, I like that angle, I'll shoot in that direction. Don't think that way. Think in terms of, there's light over there, I'll stand in the light. Okay, so I'm going to go to another place that has light, which is here. There's fluorescent tubes over there, it's hitting me in this direction, and that's the view of the background. Is this an acceptable angle for you? For me, lighting is great. Angle, that could be another issue. What's in the background? Is that nice? Is that what I want? Fortunately, I am in control of this environment. So if I really like this angle, I'd spend the next half hour clearing that corner out. That's where all my gear is, my backup gear, okay? I'll move all that and I'll keep it there. Let me show you another easier way to change your background. Take the camera and change the perspective. Change the angle. Ta-da! Move the stand away, it's in the way, I don't like that. Hi guys, and welcome. Instantly, with that one move, I now have decent light hitting my face. I have a decently uncluttered background, and I can do what I want to do. All right, tip number 2. Always look for the simplest solution. And the simplest solution in this case is just to move the camera around. I'm standing here because the light is hitting me. This is beautiful. But I don't like the background. So just take the camera and rotate. Yep, maybe here. How about this? Not bad, I like that. Pretty classy as well. All right, how about I do it this way? Turn this way. Oh, no. No, that's not nice. That's all rubbish over there. Okay? How about I turn it back? How about I do it this way? Oh, hang on. I've got a green screen. Let's try the green screen, shall we? Straight away, I can tell you that I don't like it. All right? There's no light hitting my face. My face is in a shadow area. I've got light hitting the top of my head, and you can see my bald spot. Not a flattering look. Okay? Congratulations, guys. These are the most important tips. Okay, so let me reiterate what you want to do. You want to place the host or the on-screen talent in the light. If you are in a room, if you are in a interior space, all right, the position of the lights have to be sought out. You have to find it and go and shoot in that environment. I'm also going to show you another technique which I like to do, and that is to use exterior light to shoot myself. Let's go to a window, shall we? Okay guys, I am now standing in another part of my lab. All right, but the difference here is I have existing light coming in. I have artificial light over there, but I also have sunlight streaming in through a window over here. Let me show you that window. It's kind of bright, but I think you get the message. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually using the natural light from outdoors to come in through the window and illuminate my face. Okay? And this is also another very acceptable scenario. If you are shooting indoors and you don't have enough light, use Mother Nature to help. But we use a window, a doorway, an arch as a light source. Which brings us to point number 2. To create interesting light for your object, for your subject, you want the light to be directional. You want the light to come in at one angle. Okay? If the light is hitting you from every single angle, your video looks pretty plain. All right? It looks as though that you're standing outdoors in the middle of a field. It works. I'm not saying it doesn't. It works. But it's not what I want. I want depth. All right? I want three-dimensionality, if that's a word. Okay? Key light. The main light that's coming in is called the key light. That's from the sun. And I have the secondary light, or the fill light, which is coming in from the fluorescent tubes over here. This gives me depth. This gives me a proper exposure, and I am happy. Okay, guys? All right. So that's the secret of shooting indoors, right? Move to the position that has the best light scenario. Now I'm going to go back to the lab and I'm going to show you how I add lights to make my own scenario. Let's go. Hi guys, welcome back to the lab. I am now in the same place as I was earlier, but I have done something slightly different. I've turned off all the lights in the lab, pitch black right now, except for one dedicated video light. It's a small little LED lamp, which is standing right here. This is called a single point light source, okay? And it's illuminating me pretty harshly, actually. And you can tell that this is a pretty harsh light by the shadow. See how clearly defined that shadow is? Right. Now, I'm using this scenario to identify a lighting setup, okay? And the lighting setup that I want to explain to you is the concept of foreground lighting and background lighting, okay? All film sets, Hollywood film sets or otherwise, they light their actors separately than the background. Why? Well, basically to give attention to me, to the actor, okay? By putting a light just on me, you, the audience, are focused on my face right now. You are not distracted by what's happening in the background, okay? Now that could be what you want, or maybe it's not what you want. Maybe you want the background to appear as well. So what we are going to do now is light the background separately, okay? So I'm going to turn on the There you go. Background is now lit with a separate light, and it has a blue filter on it to give it a little bit of difference, okay? I have also turned on a second light over here, which is slightly softer or less powerful than this light, okay? In fact, let me turn it down even more. There you go. One light over here, one light over there, slightly less powerful, background lighting. Instantly, it looks polished. Instantly, the video looks a lot more presentable and professional. Congratulations, guys. You have just had a crash course in film lighting. This is lighting scenario or setup is called a 3-point light setup. You've got your key light, light number 1, main light, most powerful light on one side. It doesn't have to be on the left, it can be on the right, depending on which part of your face is more handsome or your profile angle, okay? I didn't care. I just put it here because it was more convenient. Then I put the second light, which is the fill light, 45 degrees opposite to the other one, to the main light. That must be half the power of this or quarter the power of this. That gives us the depth. See, half my face is brighter, the other half is slightly darker. Yeah. That tells people, hey, his face is round. He's a bit fat. Right? But the image is still nice, right? It's still acceptable, right? That's what we want. And I've decided to throw a blue color in the background to give that depth. So right now you know, he is in a studio. Let's turn off the background light. Let's see how we look with just this, with the two lights set up. And there you go. Is it wrong? No, it just is a different feel. Okay? Right, so why am I explaining this to you? Well, if you do have some video lights of your own, or if you decide that you want to go and buy one, borrow, or steal some, no, don't steal, okay? Then you will want to think about lighting your scene like this. Foreground, background, okay? And all the scenarios that I'm going to show you in the next 10 to 15 minutes will have the same concept. Foreground lighting, foreground elements, me, background lighting for the background elements, okay? But we're going to split it into two, okay? This is artificial lighting, this is stage lighting, this is something that I set up. What you are going to master is how to use your environment to give you the same depth. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the hardest things to do in film. Unless you are very familiar with photography and you've been taking photographs for decades, it's very hard for you to look at a location and say, all right, I'm going to stand there and walk straight to that point. Okay? So how do you do this? All you need to do is turn on your camera app and walk around. Don't trust your eyes. Your eyes will mislead you. Your eyes are the best cameras ever made by God. So when you look at a particular angle, your eyes will say, that's beautiful. But if you turn on the camera and you shoot in that direction, your camera is not going to see the same thing. Phone cameras, DSLRs, even professional cameras cannot imitate our eye. They have limitations, okay? So we need to use our device to tell us the truth. Is that bright enough? Is that dark enough? Is that view what I want? Okay, guys? So here's what you do. Take your camera, your phone, turn it on, put it on a stand if you have a stand like this, leave it there and stare at it. That's what I do. I turn the camera on and I stare at it for a while. People ask me, what are you doing? I said, I'm looking at the scene. Okay? Now we're going to do this now. I'm going to walk around the campus and I'm going to find tough spots to explain lighting, foreground and background lighting. Okay? I'm not going to talk about audio yet, okay, because I'm using the lapel mic. You should be hearing my voice clearly. The next section after this, we will talk about framing, and then we will go straight into audio, how to record sound, okay? All right, so see you in 10 seconds. Okay, guys, I am standing outside the Media Command Center, okay? And this is a typical scenario of what we can expect if we are shooting indoors, natural lighting, okay? In order for you to get an idea of where I am, I'm just going to pan the camera right round ever so slowly for you to see what is behind me, okay? Behind me, or rather in that area over there, is a skylight, okay? Sunlight is streaming in all the way from the top right down through this area here to illuminate the floor and the foyer. The foyer is downstairs, okay? Now, as a cameraman, the moment I walk in here, I know that that is the light source. That is the source of light that is going to illuminate everything that I shoot. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I stand facing the light. Let me repeat. Your talent, me, must face the light. Not the camera. Camera never face the light. Talent. So let's do it. I'm going to turn around like this. Okay. I'm going to choose a background. This is the background that I want. Light is streaming in from there, hitting me in the face. I've got my audio here, and I can deliver my lines. All right? Good scenario? Beautiful scenario. In this scenario, the light is considered to be flat lighting. If you look at my face, you can't see very strong shadows. I'm going to put my hand over my face like this. All right? And if you look at the shadows, it's very soft. This is called soft lighting or flat lighting, and this is what we want when we shoot. Okay? Unfortunately, not all lighting scenarios are going to be like this. Okay? You are going to get harsher, stronger lights. You just need to learn how to compensate. Okay? Now, I'm going to move closer to the foyer here, over here, like that. All right? And what's going to happen is the light is going to get brighter. Now, remember, guys, we are shooting with a manual camera. So every time I move, I have to readjust the exposure of the app. Okay? See? Perfect exposure right now. Everything looks good. Everything looks consistent. I'm holding the microphone close to my mouth like this because there's a lot of noise that's happening right around. Okay? And deliver your lines. Hi, guys, and welcome. Now I'm talking about point number 2. What is behind me is what I'm going to focus on. This is my lift. I don't know. All right? Let's move downstairs and we will start venturing outdoors so that you get an idea of what I am doing. All right, guys. I'm standing in the foyer of UOW KDU Penang, Malaysia. And I'm smack in the middle of the skylight right now, and the light is streaming everywhere. And you can tell that the lighting is actually pretty flat if you look at the shadows. See? Look at the shadow on my hand here, on my head. Very, very soft lighting as well. And it is actually very, very agreeable. It's very nice. Okay? The problem is, I have chosen this angle because I want to focus on the background. I want you to see what is happening in the background. And the background is not lit. Okay? Notice the difference, the foreground and background element? I am setting the light for me, but the background may not necessarily have enough light. So what do we do? Well, if you're using the Open Camera app, you are going to need to adjust the exposure to illuminate the main part of your frame. Now, what is the main part of your frame in this scenario, guys? Yeah, the main part is me, right? You're the host. You're the main person in the frame. What if I'm shooting a B-roll? What if I'm shooting something that is going to support me? In other words, what if I'm shooting the background element and I walk away? If you walk away, guys, you have to reset the exposure again to get the best scenario or the best representation for that. Look, notice my hand. My hand is totally overexposed right now. But look at the background. The background now is properly exposed and everything is beautiful. That shot, the empty shot, is called a B-roll, and that is what we are going to use to fill in the gaps in my speech. Okay? All right. Moving on, I'm turning the exposure down a little bit more now because I'm going to walk. I'm not going to turn off the camera. I am going to literally lift up the stand and I'm going to walk into direct sunlight. Okay? You will see the difference. You will see the harshness that is about to occur. And you will appreciate the difference. By the way, I'm not using a gimbal, yeah? I'm just holding the light stand and I'm walking. My arm is extended. And if you will realize, it is pretty smooth. Okay, apart from that kick that I just kicked the stand. Moving on. Oh, what has happened here? Look at that. Sunlight is way, way, way too strong. I need to adjust all the settings down again. Okay. Much better. Let me make it a little bit darker. There we go. All right, so as you notice, every time we move from one location to another, your exposure settings will change. And because the exposure setting changes, all right, you need to change as well. This is harsh lighting, guys. The sun is hitting me in the face. The shadows are very strong. And if you're a journalist, this would be what you want, but personally, I think this is just way too much. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go find a tree. Or basically, I'm going to go look for some shadows. And I'm going to stand in the shadow. Here we go, here we go. I'm going to stand at the edge of the shadow. I'm not going to stand in the shadow, it'll be too dark like this, but I'm going to stand at the edge. Okay, so the edge would be somewhere around, somewhere around there. Going to make it a little bit brighter. Hi guys, welcome. This is UOW KDU Penang, Malaysia. We are in the foyer area, in the car park area, and this is where I would normally start my presentation, okay? To adjust framing, I'm not going to move the camera. The host, me, I can see myself, so I am going to move and frame myself accordingly. This is basically frame left, or I'm standing on the left-hand side of the frame, but I can also stand on the right-hand side of the frame and refer to the background. Okay, guys? This is what you want to train yourself to do, to see, okay? Should I turn the camera upwards? And straight away you realize that this is not a flattering look at all. The background is exposed properly, but my face isn't. This concept is called backlighting, and this is a big no-no in film production, okay? Especially for handphones. Do not do this, okay? Try your best not to let the background overpower the foreground, which is me. And make sure that I am now brighter than the background. Which brings us to a problem, guys. No matter what I do, I can't balance my brightness with the background's brightness, right? There's no way we can do it, not without bringing in additional lighting. So, here's tip number 3. Are you ready? This one is important because this is the one that gives you the best chance of getting a good shot. If you want to shoot something quickly and you want to get good lighting, make sure that the foreground and the background are lit by the same light source. Let me demonstrate. Mother Nature out there right now. I'm going to go stand in a place where the sun is going to hit me square in the face. Sorry, I didn't mean to rhyme. I'm not a rapper. The sun is there, it's hitting me in the face, I am fully lit, background is also lit by the same light source, and this becomes an agreeable viewpoint. Awesome? Remember, sun must hit me in the face. What if I turn around? You can get a decent shot as well, but look at my face. It is now in the shadow. This is not what I want. What if I want that view? What if I insist on that view? The answer is actually easy. Are you ready? Just rotate the camera a little bit so that the sun hits me from the side like that. This is agreeable. This is not so bad. This, on the other hand, is not so good. Okay, guys? This angle, this is the best. Sun is in front, hitting me in the face. Everything looks beautiful. All right? I am now going to move back into the foyer area so I can explain the third concept, which is mixed lighting. Now, a lot of us want to get the best look and the best image possible from our handphones, right? But a lot of us don't have the place or the venue to do so. So I'm going to introduce a concept that is pretty interesting and which I practice all the time. I use Mother Nature to illuminate me, but the background, I let it go dark. In other words, I like to stand in doorways, in arches, in main entrances, where the sun hits me from one side, but the other part of the frame, the other side of my face, is darkness. In other words, exterior, this is an exterior part of the building. That is the interior part of the building. I'm on the threshold, smack in the center, and I have now depth. Okay? Congratulations, guys. These three areas, these three principles is what you're going to face. You're going to face interior lighting problems, which you need to sort out. You're going to face exterior lighting problems, which is what I just said just now. Too much light, strong lighting hitting you all over the place. And the third one, which is the mix mode, which is half exterior, half interior, for the best lighting that you can get. Okay, guys? This one is not something you can learn straight away. It is something that you need to practice. Each venue, each location that you go to will have a different set of problems which you need to solve. Okay? Right now, I have a building that is, well, it's clad in stone. It's made of stone. What if you enter a building that is made of glass? Yes, there are some scenarios where the building is made of glass. Hello. Some customers have just walked in. All right. What if the building is made of glass? What are the problems that you're going to face? You're going to have too much light. You're going to have reflections. All of these things affect you. All right. Don't be worried. Don't be scared. All you need to do is pick up the camera and walk away. Don't try to solve the problem straight away, guys. Find another venue that is better. It's faster to find the venue than to fix this bad one. All right? Today we're going to look at how to use the Open Camera app. Now, I'm not going to teach you how to install the app. You should by now know how to install applications on your phone. If not, you can just click on the link that I've provided in the last video or in this video and follow the instructions. Okay? Now, I'm using a screen grab feature. Okay? I'm using a software or an app called X-Record. And what it's doing is it's recording all the things that you are going to see on the screen. In fact, right now, this is how or what the Open Camera app looks like. You should be seeing this on your phone as well. I have also set the camera to record in this direction in selfie mode because I want to use the selfie camera. Okay? But if you want to record the other camera, you just press a button and you can see on the other side. That is the mess that is on the other side of the camera. Okay? I'm also sitting in the production floor because I want you to experience color setting of the aperture and all the settings with the production lights. Remember key light, fill light? Yeah, so I've set those lights up. I'm sitting down because this is going to be a long and slightly boring video. I need to be a bit more comfortable when I do this. But most importantly, I want you to understand that this is a video. So if you don't get anything or if you want to take a break, please press pause, come back later. It's not an issue. All right. I'm also going to use part of the X-Record app is this really cool arrow feature. And this arrow feature allows me to draw your attention to different parts of the screen so that you will understand what I'm referring to. All right. There are many things on the screen. Okay, this is irritating. Let me get rid of it. There are many parts of the screen which you will need to focus on. So we will go through the process one by one. Now, I predict that this video is going to be slightly boring, slightly long. I will be taking a break, okay? I'll be honest. You won't see the break because I'm going to be editing this. But yeah, bear with me and we will get started. Okay, so how do we use this app? Well, straight away when you run the app, this is the view. And I need you to understand the interface, okay? The interface is this square frame here with the buttons on the side, okay? So let's go and check out all these buttons very quickly, as fast as possible, and see what they are. Right, first button on the top right. That should be self-explanatory, to be honest. Press that button and it will ask you to show all the clips that you have previously recorded, okay? This is one way of checking that you have got the clip done, you have correct, and I recommend that you do this at the end of each recording, okay? That means you plug in the mic, press record, shoot your video, and when you are done, check the video out. Now remember something, the microphone is plugged into the phone, okay? If the microphone is still plugged in, when you play the video, there's not going to be any sound. Remember that, yeah? It's a mistake that everybody makes. It's cool. Unplug the microphone, press that button. Let me press the button, play the video, and confirm that you have the footage. All right? Okay, cool. That's button number 1. Let's go to button number 2. Button number 2 is obviously this one right here. And I don't need to explain very much what it is. Basically, you're just changing from one camera to the other. Okay? Which camera do you want to use? All right? I'm using this because I'm talking to the screen and I want to see that I'm sitting in the screen. I want to follow rules of thirds if I want. My hands are not going anywhere. This is what you want to do if you are hosting. But if you are shooting objects, if you're shooting B-roll, then this is what you may want to try. Okay, guys? Turn the camera the other way around, press record, and you are done. Okay? All right, so notice what I just did. I accidentally pressed the button and it disappeared. But don't fret. This is an app. You can just press the button again and it will come back. Your job is to make sure that the recording doesn't stop. All right? If you close the app and you are still recording, it will continue. Don't panic. Okay? Just be calm. Press the back button or press the icon again. It pops back. All right. Now comes the other 2 buttons, which are pretty easy and straightforward, which is this button here and this button here. I don't need to explain that, do I? The button that looks like a camera takes a photo. The button underneath that, the smaller one, which is that one there, that's for video. Pretty common sense, right? All right. Okay, now at the bottom right of the screen, which is, let me just draw another arrow here. Unfortunately, it's being blocked. Okay, that one down there. Yeah, this one. That line, right there. Let's slide it up and down. That's right, guys. That is your zoom function. Okay? And a lot of you right now are saying, wow, that's cool. It is cool. It's also something that you do not want to do very often. Now, the reason for that is because my phone is a medium class, medium grade phone. It does not have an optical zoom. What you just saw just now is called a digital zoom. A digital zoom. And what it does is it crops the frame and amplifies it. Okay, so let me just zoom in a little bit. All right. And what you can see right now, you're looking at an image, right? If this clarity and this sharpness is what you want and you're happy with it, go for it. Unfortunately for me, it's not good enough. All right, it is blur. Okay, so I very rarely use this feature on my camera phone. Okay, as an instructor, as a trainer, if this is what you want, by all means. I can't use it, so I don't. Okay, and that doesn't mean that you cannot use this on more expensive phones, because there are some phones that actually have an optical zoom in them. All right, the keyword here is expensive phones. All right, if you have that phone, please experiment with the zoom feature. You'll be surprised. This feature will probably control the optical zoom of your phone, and you are going to get really good images. Okay, so just pay attention to that fact. All right. The other feature that we are going to look at now is this one here on top. That's the top left-hand corner there. That's a very important feature. You've got your date, your time, and you have your gigabyte size. That is the amount of space that I have left in this phone. Okay, if that gigabyte number is 43201, please don't record video. You don't have enough space. Okay, like I said, video is a really big file, so you want as much space as possible. I have set my setting to record to the SD card, if I'm not mistaken, so I should have, well, 63 gigabytes of space. Okay, many hours, lots of fun. The time is important as well, because all the file names that when you press record, it'll create a file, right? Each file is named based on the date and time. All right, you're going to see a name, a file name later that is unique. No two files are exactly the same, which means that you will not accidentally overwrite an old file. This new file and this old file will always have a different name. Cool feature, yeah? All right. But there are a certain set of problems with this, which I'll explain later when we start doing the editing, which isn't in this video, okay? But don't worry too much about that. All right, let's look at another feature that is pretty interesting, and that is this one here on the top left. If you are an Android user or even an iOS user and you see a gear, you know what the gear means. The gear, ladies and gentlemen, refers to the settings. All right, so let me just press the gear and you will see a bunch of settings here. And unfortunately, this is the part of the video that gets boring. I will try my best not to talk about every single feature there. I will only focus on the ones that make a difference to you, okay? But I will have to explain more or less everything in there quickly so that you don't get confused. Okay, guys? Now, if you followed my instruction and yesterday's video, I'm producing one video a day. That's pretty good. Yesterday's video, I put some links to another person's tutorial on the open camera. If you have watched that, that'll be pretty good as well. Today is just a recap and a practical live demonstration for you in this environment. Okay? Right, so let's look at the next one. And the next button is this button here on the left-hand side. Let me just draw another arrow for you so that you can understand that one there. Okay? This button is the one that you're going to use a lot. This button is the one that sets all your settings very quickly for you. Okay? This one I'm going to stay here for a while to give you an explanation, but slightly later. The next button, which is over here, let me just press another arrow for you. That one, okay? It's a plus and minus, and to be honest, also a pretty important feature because this one controls your exposure compensation. See that? It's getting darker, it's getting brighter. This is what you use to set your brightness and contrast, okay? Which is why the icon is half white and half black. That is the fundamentals of brightness and contrast. Okay, guys? If you like this video right now, this setting, that's fantastic. Unfortunately, if you look carefully, is it changing in any way? No, it isn't. I'm happy. Look at that. You like this? Fantastic. I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to stay right there. The problem is that it's in auto mode. It's not going to be like that, all right? It's going to try and get brighter. It's going to try and get darker at will. So to lock it, there is another button over here, which is the one at the bottom there. That is the lock feature. Very important, guys. You want to lock the settings, all right? So let's say I adjust the brightness and contrast to, yeah, I like that. I am now going to press the lock button at the bottom and the exposure is locked. No matter what I do, no matter where I go, that's the look that I'm going to get. Okay, guys? All right, I'm impressed with myself. I've gone through this pretty darn quickly. Let's now go to the details. Okay, so the first skill I'm going to teach you how to do today is how to hold your camera. That's the first one. And the secret is, guys, with two hands, like this. Okay? Now, the reason for holding your camera with two hands is actually biological. Okay? Now, if you remember when you were young and you first started to learn how to cook your first bowl of Maggi Mee, and you wanted to take that bowl to the kitchen or to the TV set so you can watch your movie, your parents would say, hold properly, use two hands, and that's biological, okay? Because when we hold something with two hands, our brain automatically tries to balance it out without even thinking, Okay, and what happens is, no matter how full your bowl of Maggi mee was, you can actually walk with it quite stably. You don't even have to look at your Maggi mee like that. Of course, when you were 3 years old or 5, this is what you would do. You would walk with your Maggi mee very carefully. Now we put the Maggi mee, we put the bowl, and we can walk and talk without actually focusing on the bowl itself. It's biological. We have learned how to use that skill. Everybody has. Unless, of course, you've never cooked Maggi mee. But we're going to take that skill and we're going to apply it to the handphone. And to do that, all you need to do is hold the handphone with 2 hands like this. Okay? Now, in the earlier video, I told you that I like to cradle or cup my handphone like this. Okay? I only do that in bright sunlight. Okay? But if I'm indoors, I literally just hold it with my fingertips. I cradle it like this, sometimes with my pinkies out. All right? And that's what I do. Okay? But that's just step 1. Okay? Step 2 is to learn how to use our body as a tripod. Okay? Now, what is a tripod? It's something to support the camera. This is a monopod with tripod legs. See that? It's got 3 legs. Now, this is not an expensive piece of kit, and I would sincerely recommend you guys consider buying something like this. This is about 140 ringgit. Okay? I'll demo this in a while as well. But for a start, we are going to learn how to hold the camera. We want to hold it at eye level. Okay? Simply because that's where we are looking. Okay? Why do we want to put the camera up here and do that? Why do we want to put the camera down here and do that? Start with eye level first, okay? And then, here's the secret, guys. Bring your elbows in and rest it on your chest. Like this. I know it looks stupid, but bear with me. I'll show you and explain to you why. All right? Now, the reason for that is because what makes your video look amateurish is jitter. This is jitter. All right? Later, I will shoot a video with this camera outdoors or somewhere, I haven't decided yet, to give you an example of what I'm talking about. Okay? Now, jitter happens when you hold the camera like this. Your hand's going to shake. No matter how strong you are, it is going to shake. Okay? You hold it like this, it's going to shake. Even if you hold it out like this, it is still going to shake. Okay? Because our arms are not that strong. But our body, all right, especially an upright body like this one, we are standing upright, is very rigid. Okay? So let's use our body, the mass of our body, to stabilize the camera. And you do that by holding it with 2 hands like this. By the way, guys, I'm using the selfie camera. I'm looking at myself perform. And I can position myself anywhere in the frame to get the best image. Okay, guys? So I think standing here is good. 45 degrees is good. You can see what I'm doing. And now I'm going to cup it, my arms against my chest like that. And I'm going to press record and shoot the video. Okay, in fact, let me just turn the camera on and let me just shoot the video. Okay. All right, camera is on. Turn on the video right now. Pressing record. And I need to synchronize the 2 cameras, that camera and this camera. And I synchronize it by making a sound. It's not a big sound, but it's still a sound. And then I can do that. Okay, guys, so this is an example of me holding it out like that. And no matter how steady, you will see that the camera is, well, it's moving. It's shaking, it's wobbling. That's not very nice, okay? Now, if I press my arms against my chest like this and hold it steady, you can see that it is really, really much more steady. Okay, guys? Now, that's step 1. Step 2 is learning how to move the camera to follow the action. Okay? Now, guys, video is about shooting action. Okay? This is not a photo. All right? Video is about shooting me talking, people walking, things, objects, etc. Okay? So the first thing you want to do is you want to learn how to do a pan. This is called a pan. I start on the left. Okay, this is not This is not very good. The light is right here, it's causing a problem. But I'll give you an example. You start on the left and you turn your waist. That's a pan, P-A-N. You can do it from left to right. You can do it from right to left. Okay? Shooting this way maintains the horizon. Horizon means whether the camera is sang at. All right, you don't want that. You want it to be flat. That's called maintaining the horizon. And it also guarantees that you get relatively smooth motion because it's not shaking around anymore. Okay? I won't use this footage because the lighting is not very nice. I'll shoot something outside later and you can understand the concept. Okay? So that is a pan. There's also another one called a tilt. And this is a tilt. Okay? You hold it in the same position, but you lean forward to aim to the ground, and then you lean backwards to aim it up higher. Okay, guys, you're tilting. Okay, that action. Now, why do we do that versus doing this? Okay, simple. You haven't trained your muscles yet. Okay, let me give you an explanation. If any of you have learned a motor skill or a motor sport or badminton, for example, if I give you a racket, if you've never played badminton before, you can hit the racket, you can hit the shuttlecock, all right? But you'll never be able to do it consistently. But as you practice over and over and over and over again, you'll be able to actually hit the shuttlecock into a bucket over and over again. Okay, guys? That's motor skill training, okay? What we are doing now is motor skill training, okay? Over time, you are going to get good. Your muscles are going to get in tune with the action, and you will be able to move your hands out of your body and do the exact same thing. Okay, that's a pan, and this is a tilt. Notice my arms are not moving, right? I'm locking my arms. It's my waist that is doing all the work for me. Okay, guys? Pan and tilt. Hey, hang on. How about we combine the two? This is called a pan and tilt. I start from the left-hand side on the ground, aiming at the ground, and as I move, I go up to aim somewhere high. Pan and tilt. Okay, guys? Three things every cinematographer, every videographer, everybody who has shot a video must know how to do. Okay? Now today we are focusing on handheld techniques. That means techniques that involve holding the camera. I'm not going to go into tripod techniques or Steadicam or gimbal techniques. Okay, it makes the video too long, and you poor things, you guys have been subjected to 30-minute videos earlier. Today is going to be short. Pan, tilt, pan and tilt. Okay? Practice over the weekend, you will get it, you will understand the concept, and over time you will become better. All right, so that is called static video shots. Static handheld video shooting. Now we're going to talk about dynamic handheld video shooting, and basically what it means is how do we move with the camera. Okay? All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to learn from the great Michael Jackson. That's right, folks, we are going to learn how to do the moonwalk. Do you know what the moonwalk is? You know when Michael Jackson walks backwards like this? You can't see my legs, but notice how smooth my body is moving. Right. I'm not asking you to do the moonwalk, but I want you to learn the basic principles of the moonwalk. And principle number one of the moonwalk is this: there is no stepping. All right, guys? Don't believe me? Go on YouTube, type moonwalk, look at Michael Jackson. His legs don't lift off the ground like that. This movement shakes the camera. Instead, what I want you to do is I want you to walk as smoothly as you can without lifting your legs off the ground. And I want you to bend your knees slightly. That bent knee action, that smooth sliding step action creates very smooth motion. Again, I will demonstrate it. I won't show myself shooting it. I'll show you the results of those shots. Okay? So here we go. hold. By the way, when you do movement, you don't cup it anymore. Huh? It has to be the opposite. When you do movement, you literally have to float the camera like this. My legs are moving up and down, but if you look at my hands, if you look at the camera is pretty stable. Once again, our brain is trying to stabilize the camera. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the fundamentals of a stabilizer or a gimbal. Okay, that's right, we're gimbals. Okay, so here we go. Hold the camera out like this, bend your knees a little bit, and take slow, small steps. Do not take big steps, small steps. Okay? If you take a big step, it's going to go up and down, up and down. Your video is going to go up and down, up and down. You don't want that. Okay? All right. Now, in the industry, these movements have specific names. They're not called moving the camera. They have a specific name. And if I am walking towards an object like this with the camera coming in like this, that is called a dolly or a dolly shot. All right, D-O-L-L-Y. Okay. If you go on YouTube and you type dolly shot, camera movement, you will see tons of examples of how the professionals do dolly. Now we are semi-professional. All right, you and me, we do this for a very basic function, for educational purposes. Well, you will anyway. So you don't need to go and buy all the fancy equipment. All you need to do is hold it out, bend your knees, and take some smooth steps like this. That's a dolly shot, okay? Now you can mix and match dolly with a pan. Watch this. I start from the left, I walk forward, and as I walk, I move to the right. Or I go backwards, I move to the left. Dolly shot with a pan. Let's complicate our lives even further. I'm going to do a pan and tilt with a reverse dolly. Here we go, starting from the ground, going backwards, going to the right, going up while walking backwards. Okay? Dolly shot. There's another shot that we use very often, and that is called the tracking shot, which is basically like this. Stand properly, extend your arms, turn to the side, and walk this way. Okay? You can do that. Or you can do it like this. You can face it to the front and you cross your legs like this. I'm not dancing, guys. I'm trying to show you how to walk. Now, if you've played volleyball before, if you have attended football training or volleyball training, you will know this exercise. Your legs crisscross, crisscross. That's one way of walking sideways. The hard part is walking smoothly. Sorry, my phone is... Messages are coming in. Okay, guys? I like to do this. I like to hold it just like that and walk. Okay? That is a tracking shot. All right, so now you know dolly, you know tracking, you know pan, you know tilt. Do you need to mix all of these things together to get a shot? Please don't. All right? In fact, to get the best looking shot is this. Don't move the camera. Move the object. If I need to show something to you, see how smooth, see how nice that is? I can see myself, I can angle the object, and when I find the right lighting, yeah, beautiful. The only reason we hold the camera is because we are shooting something that we cannot bring to us. We cannot bring into our studio. We cannot bring into our environment. We have to go to that environment. That's when we hold the camera. Okay, guys? All right. So that is it for this video. What I want you to do is to practice. And to practice is actually important that you press record. Okay? You can't practice and appreciate your work just by looking at the frame. You need to press record, and then you need to play it back, and then you need to ask yourself, which area should I improve? Do I work better on my hands? Do my muscles ache? Do my stomach ache? What do I do? Okay, guys? All right, sound check. Okay guys, welcome back to the Media Command Center. Air-conditioned environment, beautiful, nice and quiet. Okay, this room, this center was actually designed to exclude sound. So this is a perfect place for me to demonstrate the next portion of our video, how to record audio to a secondary device. Now, I know that all of you would love to have this. Okay, this lapel, this is a lapel mic. Okay, it is wired, it is connected to the handphone, and it gives you pristine audio. Okay, the voice is connected to the video. You can see from the mouth, all right, synchronization is perfect. If I say apple, you know it's an apple, all right? The lips are connected to the sound, okay? But what I'm going to do now is I want you to listen, all right, to the audio when I remove this cable. All right, guys, so this is the sound of your handphone recording directly from the microphone that is on the camera. You can tell that it's inadequate, yeah? The microphone on your camera was not designed to capture pristine audio from 4 feet away, okay? You get good audio if you stand this close to the camera. Beautiful, acceptable, not a problem. Unfortunately, what we are trying to do, let me plug this back. Okay. Unfortunately, what we are trying to do is to create a very professional and polished production with the host sometimes standing much further away than is necessary. Sometimes the host needs to talk to the background, or we need to do something, or we need to interact with someone else. This microphone allows us to do that. It allows us to interact with our environment. Now, if you can't buy one, or if you don't want to buy one, I don't blame you, okay? Not everybody wants to do this as a hobby. There is another way to do it, and to do it quickly. And that is to use the second recording device, another handphone, okay? Now, if you guys are working in teams, the answer is already there. One handphone, this one that I'm pointing at right now, is using the Open Camera app, and it's recording the video, okay? By the way, guys, if you're watching this video until now, you would have already seen the Open Camera app tutorial section, okay? So you should be able to get really good footage. Now we are going to audio. The app that we are going to use is, hang on, let me RecForge 2. I've already provided the link in the previous video. Sorry, this is bad production value. I can't find the app. Where is it? Okay, got it. And it is loading up right now. And as you can tell, it doesn't look like a very professional looking application. Okay, guys? But I assure you, sound check 1 2, sound check 1 2 3, sound check 1 2, sound check 1 2. It does its job. Okay, guys? So this is how we're going to use it. There is a slightly more complicated workflow, and I will explain to you now. So the first thing that you want to do is, I'm going to leave this on, okay, because I'm going to use this as our training guide, our tutorial guide. But what I'm going to do is, I'm going to provide this video clip without sound in the Google Drive link. And I will also provide this clip that I'm going to record on RecForge. Okay? Your assignment is to synchronize these two clips together to make a synchronized video. Okay? And I'm going to show you how I do it. Now, because I'm working alone today, I have a second stand, which I can place my phone. And I'm going to aim the microphone, which is over here, in the direction of my mouth, which is something like that. Okay? If you have an assistant, or if you have someone helping you, you could hold the phone just here. All right? Or you can even hold it at the side of your mouth like this. Okay, it's perfectly fine. This is a journalistic piece. Having the microphone in the shot is acceptable. All right. But in this scenario, I want my hands free because I want to teach you something. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. Here are the steps. Step 1, press record on the camera. Okay. Step 2, make sure the lighting is good, the aperture, all the settings are good, and you are happy with the brightness. Okay. Step 3, run RecForge. Okay. Make sure RecForge is running, and then press the record button. All right. Now, when you press the record button on RecForge, it's not recording yet, guys. It's showing you the signal. Okay. Once you're happy, you've adjusted the signal, the level, the sensitivity that you want, press the tick. And now this camera is recording. RecForge is also recording. Now, this step is very important. Pay very close attention. I need a way to synchronize these two clips together later. When I'm editing, or if I'm using OpenShot, I'm going to bring in two files. The first file is the video file, no audio. The second file is the audio file alone, this one. How do I synchronize it? With a clap. Now, if you look at the waveform, the file, you will see a big spike. All right? I'll show you now on the screen. That's a spike. You need to synchronize these two files together and deliver your performance. Okay? And you will realize that this method of shooting, okay, even without the lapel mic, just using one phone for the video, one phone for the audio, you can get fantastic production value. Okay, guys? This is something that you need to practice. This is something that makes your video so much better. Okay? And just to give you a demonstration of how the sound would sound like, or what it would look or sound like, let me take it off. All right? As you can see, it's still recording, yeah? I'm going to hold the phone over here like this. Ladies and gentlemen, this sound you're listening to right now is coming from a secondary phone. It's not a professional recording device, but it is adequate. In fact, it is more than adequate once you start applying filters in the editing suite. All right, you can apply a graphic equalizer, you can apply a noise reduction algorithm, you can do so many things to make this audio beautiful. Okay, guys? All right, congratulations. Thank you very much. This is essentially the ending of this video with regards to production. I am going to teach you, or rather recap what we have done today. We have done lighting principles. We've done basic framing. We've also studied a little bit about camera movement, how to hold the camera, how to move with the camera, okay? We have studied sound, how to record sound like this. You've also learned about RecForge and the Open Camera app, two apps which are very important for your project. Do you have to use the Open Camera app or RecForge? The answer is no. You can use any app that you want. All you need to do is make sure that you are in full control of the aperture, the shutter, the brightness, and the volume settings of your devices. Okay, guys? I'm addressing the iOS, the Apple iOS users. Your software is slightly different, but if you can find the right ones with control, you should be able to get similar quality video and audio. All right, guys, so thank you very much for joining us. This is video number 2. The next video, I will start taking all of these files and putting them together in the timeline of the editing software. Okay, now I am targeting to use OpenShot, but I am also looking at Kdenlive, and I will choose the one that is faster. Okay, now the reason I'm a little bit confused right now is because at the time of the making of the first video, OpenShot was not so great. It was
a slightly different version. It was an older version, okay? But I've just downloaded the latest one, and there are some issues, all right? It's not that fast, it's slightly slower, so I'm not really convinced. But I'm still going to go back today, later tonight, and I'm going to experiment with OpenShot or Kdenlive, and I will choose one to show you tomorrow. Regardless of which one I choose, the software is free, guys. So please feel free to download it, experiment with it, play with it, and it's not going to be a very hard lesson. All right? See you tomorrow. Take care and enjoy yourselves. Goodbye.